There's this quiet thought that I think a lot of us in our 30s tend to have. And this usually happens towards the end of the day. Things start winding down, the day slows down, you're probably already in bed and you start thinking, you start reeling. And it's this voice in the back of your head where you're telling yourself, I really thought I would have had things figured out by now in my 30s. And not really in a dramatic way, not in a criticizing way, just more of a heavy, honest realization. And this kind of hit me personally hard at the end of last year. And it kind of threw me in a spiral I didn't quite see coming. So throughout my 20s, I was job hopping a lot. I had worked in different roles, different industries. I was going down different paths, working from restaurants to office jobs to a lot of warehouses. And I was always hoping to find something that would eventually just click and I would just stay in long term and say, this is me. I figured it out. Problem solved. When I hit my 30s, this is what I'm going to be doing, and life is going to be beautiful. Not perfect, but at least I have a clear direction of where I'm going to be. Now, to be clear, this doesn't mean that I was lazy, okay? I pride myself with my work. I want to say I'm a hard worker. I do try and give it 110% and more if I can. But no matter where I went, something always felt off. Like, what I was doing was because I had to do it, and it wasn't really aligning with who I was, or who I wanted to become, or eventually be. And over time, that really starts messing with you. You know, you really start to think, what's wrong with me? You know, why can't I just be content with what I'm doing? Am I broken? And so that negativity, especially for me, and I know possibly for a lot of you out there, we're very negative with ourselves. And that kind of makes us feel left behind. And the truth is, again, in my perspective, my point of view, I always had bigger ambitions. I mean, ever since I was younger, I always wanted to become a writer. I always wanted to create something meaningful. I wanted to build something that provided value to people out there. And I did dabble here and there. I did try a couple of things, but I never really saw it through. I never completed those projects back then. And for a long time, I would just tell myself, maybe it's a problem with motivation, problem with discipline in myself, problem with my confidence. And so really, I think what it came down to was I was scared of committing to something that mattered to me and seeing it through. And instead, what I did was I convinced myself of something else. And this is something that I have been dealing with for a long time in my life now. I would always tell myself, well, if I just made more money at my job, everything else would just fall into place. So I started to chase that. I started to really commit myself to finding stability, to chasing titles within my jobs, to finding that security. And I realized that the more money that I technically made from these didn't really give me that clarity that I was looking for. It gave me less energy and a lot more stress, which eventually led to me feeling like I was disconnected with myself, you know? And so eventually all of this obviously just starts to compound, especially throughout the years of having this nagging feeling in the back of my mind. It was just pressure, a lot of comparison. It was unmet expectations. It was feeling that time was slipping away, especially now during my 30s. It felt like, man, I'm really behind in life. I should be here, and I'm not, from my own expectations. And that eventually is what led to burnout. That eventually is what just, it led me to just be completely done, completely exhausted with everything. It wasn't just one bad day, it wasn't just one bad job. It was years of me quietly telling myself, this has to be normal, just keep going. And at some point, my mindset had to shift. There was this kind of click in me. I realized that feeling behind in life, wasn't necessarily that I was done. It just meant I was tired. I was exhausted. I was done with it at that point. And so instead of fixing everything all at once, I realized I needed to slow down. And so that's what Reboot 30 became for me. This really isn't a dramatic comeback. It's not a overnight reinvention of myself. It's not me having figured it out. What I document on here is real. This is honest. This is me trying to rebuild myself. I have not found the secret formula to how to make a perfect Krabby Patty. I just haven't. This really is just a decision to get back up, slowly, honestly, and intentionally. So here's what I'm learning. Feeling left behind doesn't necessarily mean that you've failed. It doesn't. It just shows that you had expectations for yourself, and your life it didn't really follow that script. It means you care. It means you wanted more, and wanting more doesn't necessarily mean that you're broken. It just means your story hasn't ended yet. So if you're in your 30s and you feel left behind, you feel stuck in your life, you feel quietly disappointed because your life isn't where you thought it would be, trust me, you are not alone. I'm still right there with you. I'm still figuring things out. I'm still working on rebooting myself. I'm still trying new things. And so all of that, I intend to continue documenting on this channel. Everything that works, everything that doesn't work, wins, the doubts, just everything in between that. I'm gonna continue to document that process here. And I mean, if you want to join me, fantastic. Let me know what you're working on in the comments below. But I truly appreciate the time that you've taken to watch this, to hear me rabble for a bit. If you have made it to this far in the video, I appreciate you so much. You have absolutely no idea. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening. I hope you and yours are well. Until next time.